Welcome back, everyone, to another Saturday live stream. Sorry if you missed yesterday. Unfortunately, I was not able to stream yesterday, and normally today would be a members live stream at this time, but I'm going to push that out a week. I'm only doing the one stream today, and this is it. But before we get started, Alexander Berglund, dry van hauler for 28 months. That's awesome. Okay, let's see who's here early and on time. The first to post that I could see is Matthew Walter. Nicholas is here. Nicholas, I'd like to get together with you later today if you're still going to be up. I know it's 9 hours later for you, 9 p.m.-ish, right after 9 p.m., I suppose. Anyway, Trucker Kitty is here. Oh, Lurch is here, and he's in the voice chat with me, or Discord, so he'll be reading your chat today if you want to say hi, Lurch.
Hi.
Mission accomplished. Phantom 67 is here. Wasn't the first to chat for today, but it's great that he's here. And Trucker Kitty has been a flatbedder for 29 months. Susan Arthur is awake for now. That's awesome. I didn't even see you post all those emojis earlier. Matthew Roth is here. Let's see. Thomas Berger is here from Germany. Treasure O is here. Nightbot is here, so watch your P's and Q's. Don't spit out too many emojis or Nightbot will get you, even if you're not Rick Rashid. Striker M11 is here, also from Germany. Bradley Ritter. Bradley, welcome to the channel membership. I saw that you joined a few days ago, so welcome. Let's see. Ken Beard is here. Vigner is here. Vigner and his brother Arnar from Iceland. And of course, Alexander Berglund is here. Let's see. No sound. You can't hear me? Really?
I hear you. Well, yeah, I would hear you.
Right. I
unmuted the stream and it's there.
Tracker says sound is fine. Turn up your volume, Thomas. Don't give me a heart attack like that. I do sound checks before I start. Okay, Nicholas. Let's see. Wow, that kind of threw me. What else we got here? Vigner is finishing Poland to Norway. Then he'll what? You can't do two things at once, Vigner? Or do you only have the one monitor? But maybe you could leave it running in the background. And you are way ahead of me in the challenge. We're going to talk a little bit about that. By the way, if you want to see the information on the challenge, I put a link in the description below to take you to our community website. And you can see all the rules and everything. And in case you want to run this on your own, because if you're not in the Discord or you're not part of the VTC, then you're technically not involved in the challenge. I think I should have opened it up to everybody, though. Yeah, I should have. Let's see. Oztech is here. Wiz Nation is here. What are you, falling asleep? Watch out for those emojis there, Wiz. You're going to get, Nightbot's going to get you. Let's see. Susan can hear me. You're loud and clear. Matthew says. Oh, Firefox crashed. That's annoying. Hey, Willie. Welcome to the stream. I'm just searching for a load from Latvia to Kosovo. Wow. I made the list and I didn't even know that was one of the legs. Lowrider is here. I think I missed you up top somewhere, but there you are. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, keep it up, Wiz. Nightbot's gonna get you. Don't believe me, just ask Rashid. Okay, so where am I? Where am I going? Oh, you're Boo Father. No wonder I didn't know who that was. Any chance you can sync up your YouTube name to it's not required, but any chance you could sync up your YouTube name to your Discord handle so that I can give you the proper role in the Discord? Because I'm not going to remember that. Matthew says, was I the first one in the chat, Boomer? Yes, you were. Okay. So, where am I? I am in Prague, Czech Republic. So I have done several legs of the challenge myself. And actually, I was going to pull up the spreadsheet that I used to track everything. Jay Ricketts, welcome to the stream. Let's see here. So, yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've completed 5 legs. So the current one that I'm doing is from the Czech Republic to Croatia. And boy, have I had a tough time finding a load. And I am actually taking a World of Trucks load, so I don't know if this is going to work when we get to the destination. It could crash or desynchronize. And I was going to use that World of Trucks ProMods Safe Cities mod, but I just found out a little while ago it hasn't been updated for the current version of ProMods. So, oops, we'll see. But yeah, I had a really tough time finding a load. We have several people who have done a lot of the legs. There are 35 in total. Stryker has done the most legs.
And he just said he's got 29 done.
I showed 24. Well, okay. I haven't updated as of this morning. So the last one that I show you having completed is Netherlands from Norway. So yeah, you probably have some more. And then he is followed by Vigner, who I show currently with 21, but he probably has some more done. Well, he's on his way to Poland. Okay, so he is current, or I am current with what he's done so far. So let me just give you a few basic stats. We have logged about 223,000 kilometers for this challenge, and we've pulled or hauled over 2.5 kilotons of cargo. That's a lot. And we've also done about 78,000 hardcore points. So most of the drivers are doing hardcore. There's a couple that are not, and that's okay. But that is one of the criteria. Let's see. Vigner says he just finished his 23rd leg. Cool. Is that Portugal to Poland? Yeah, we've got some pretty long runs in here. And just a reminder to those of you when you're reporting these in the channel set aside for this, that we are not using the number recorded by the game when you deliver. We're using either Trucky or TrucksBook, whichever is less. So I've noticed a lot of you are reporting just Trucky, but usually TrucksBook is just a little less. Might only be 1 kilometer less, but sometimes it's the other way around. But yeah, so that's what we're using. So anyway, I am in Prague currently. Bugwash and JC Drives are here.
How's the healing going, Pug?
Record says it took him longer to find a load to Luxembourg than to drive there. Yeah, not surprised. That's Luxembourg has always been a pain in our side.
Took us.
Jamuko is here. Welcome. There's another driver who's doing a lot of runs. I don't have the count, but he is last one I have recorded, which is probably not the most recent one. Um,
Vigner says I used the tracker that logs the longer off the two.
but that's not, the rules say the lesser of the two. Chamukas has done 11 by my count, but he's probably done more since I recorded that. I've got several runs to report or record in the reporting channel. So, but we've done a lot collectively. And I have to ask you, Striker, what are you going to do when you finish this? You're going to be done so quickly. I guess you just go back to doing what you're doing before the challenge, and that's fair. All right, so the one I'm doing right now is from Czech Republic to Croatia. I've already forgotten. Yes, Croatia. And I had a very tough time finding a load. I had like 3 of these small cities that I had not yet discovered, like Mlada Boleslav and Jilava and Olomouc. I had not, and probably even Ostrava. Maybe, I don't know. Anyhow, I didn't have some of those discovered, so I went around. I just drove around bobtailing to discovering all those. And after all that, I finally found a load out of Prague. But it took me like 3 or 4 game days to find that. It's very frustrating. And it's a World of Trucks load. So I don't know if it's going to desync when I try to deliver this. Let's see. Chamuco says, one more. I'm done with leg 12, currently doing leg 13. I took a break since I was pretty much falling asleep at the wheel. Yeah, I get it. Becker says he may do it again with Dispo. I don't know what that is. As of now, we're 88th on TrucksBook. Yeah. Yeah, we're in the top 100 for Euro Truck on TrucksBook most of the month so far. What says all good, 18 days into recovery, have full motion in the leg and no pain, doing really well. Thanks. Can't drive yet. Few more weeks for that. Well, if you're recovering that well, then definitely want to hold off on driving. Let's see. It took me a while to find anything from Bosnia to Belgium. It took me at least 2 days to get out of there. Yes. Some of these places are like that. Dispo is creating your own loads with Trucky. Oh, okay, dispatcher. Yeah. Well, that's not part of the challenge, so we don't use that. So definitely, I get it. I was a little tempted to do that myself for this particular load, and I'm like, no, can't do it. It's not part of the rules. So I struggled through this to find a load, and we had the same problem last year, but not with this particular run, but others like Lithuania to Luxembourg. Oh my God, everybody got hung up at that bottleneck. And then getting out of Luxembourg to going to wherever that next location was, I've already forgotten. So yeah, so these are really challenging. Now, I was going to say something else. Oh, by the way, we've been through the month end, and I would be telling you the stats for how we did in May, and also doing the runners up drawings today, but I don't have that done. I've had some distractions this week, and I will get to it in the coming days, and then I will make some announcements. We'll also be making announcements in the Discord about who done what. So we'll get to that. All right, moving on. Let's go do this load. I've already picked it up. It is a compactor by Volvo. And let's see, it's not oversized, right? It's not hanging over the edge, not too tall, I don't think. Well, maybe.
Striker says out of Lux was easy.
Well, I'm glad somebody could do it. Well, it's last year it was the other way around. It was Lithuania to Luxembourg. That was tough. And actually, I don't know where we're going out of Luxembourg now. But last year, wherever it was we were going was really hard to find a load. So, oops, wrong button. There we go. We'll put that on. Hey, why are my lights on?
Luxembourg, this year it comes from Montenegro.
Okay, so last year it went to Montenegro.
Yeah.
And it was really hard. So they're just reversed this year.
Vigner says TrucksBook and Trucky are usually within a kilometer of each other in their tracking.
Usually. And usually Trucky rounds it up. Yeah, it just depends on how they each track the telemetry. But sometimes it's even more, and I'm always wondering why. Why is Trucky so much more than TrucksBook? And actually a few times, especially with Vigner and Arnar, Trucky has been the lower number, and that's unusual. But it is what it is.
Striker says that Montenegro has only like 2 or 3 cities.
Yeah, and that's another reason why ProMods is good to have in. It tends to add more destinations or places to leave from. Shippers and receivers. And Luxembourg, I thought Luxembourg got more than under ProMods, but apparently it doesn't. But Belgium did, I think.
He says that's with ProMods.
Oh. Okay.
Elliot Hallisey's here. He says, "Hey, Boomernator. Hope you're
Hey,
okay
Elliot.
and looking forward for the stream when you're in the UK."
Well, I think we did that. Was it last weekend? I think. But, yeah. Maybe I'll do one. Well, I don't know. I don't want to commit. I did a couple weeks in a row in the UK.
Ducky says, "I suggest asking a friend for help to deal with the hauls that are difficult to find. We have a server where we can pick the load your friends found."
That is correct. You guys could both run the same load. As long as you didn't create it in the dispatcher mode.
Summer is here, which means the kids are out of school. So coming to a stream near you, Lurch returns to the Friday live streams. That's right, folks. For the summer months only, you'll hear me reading chat for you again. Elliot says, "Is Trucky like an evil toy truck, like Chucky the toy doll?"
Oh. Trucky is a tracking app. That blue bar at the top of the screen is the Trucky overlay. So that provides a lot of information. Plus it also tracks our runs. And we use it for our virtual trucking company.
Ducky says TrucksBook is terrible.
There are issues, definitely.
Striker says, "But dispatcher is not allowed, and you'd be on the same run to get the loads of others, as far as I know."
You would if that person used the dispatcher. and somebody else took the load off of them in convoy mode. But you can take a load that you book within the game naturally, and then somebody else could grab it off of you. So you could team up if you get to some place that's tough to get to or get out of. Then you could do that on the server, as Ducky suggests.
Yeah, like the live stream convoys. All the time it happens where one person finds the load and then the others just accept the load off of them.
Yeah, there's nothing in the rules about not doing that. Only not using the dispatcher. And this area sure is pretty. Reminds me a little bit of Oregon. I didn't realize that before, until just now.
Ducky adds it also helps to swap between profiles.
Okay, I hadn't thought about that. But that'll give you different loads on the freight market and cargo market if you switch profiles. So yeah, that's a possibility I hadn't considered. I may try that next time I run into a tight spot like this.
BlueFather38 says, there we go, I fixed it. Didn't think about it before.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll get you your channel member role in the Discord. Because we've got another member of the VT, our virtual trucking company member, who part of his name is Ryder. And I thought that was him. Yeah, it's confusing. So thanks for sorting that out. Well, right, Strider, that's certainly a choice to be made. If that fits in with your playstyle. You know, Thor did that too. He's stuck with one truck the entire time since he's joined the VTC.
He's got millions.
Well, not millions, but he went over 1 million kilometers.
That's why I said millions. And here's Mr. Grandpa Boom Boom.
Rick Rashid, speaking of the devil. Oopsie. Welcome to the stream, Rick. Feeling better?
Striker's got 150,000 since he's got his paint job.
Nice. What have I got here? 188,000 on this truck. And I drive different trucks and different profiles for different things. So I have a dedicated convoy profile. Same truck, but I do this in different places. Look at that! Lurch is gifted 5 memberships. You want to read those off, please?
We got Sick of It All, Joshua Morrow, Jack Fox, a bunch of numbers, Gaming, Daniel Simpson, and Thumper and Bo are the lucky recipients.
Well, Thumper and Bo. That reminds me, I didn't do any shout outs when I started. I completely forgot. We already had some new channel members. 6, in fact. 5 that were gifted last weekend, plus True Father joined. I think about that.
Vigner says so far Spain to Slovenia was the toughest leg.
Wow. Ooh. Almost missed my turn. Hey, you know how we sometimes have problems on a server with the AI driver smashing into you like it doesn't even see you? And of course that happens because it's somebody else's AI. You know, they spawned in as part of someone else's AI cars. But I've had that happen recently in solo mode. A couple of times yesterday it happened to me. I don't get it.
Stryker finally got a load to Kosovo, only 2,100 kilometers.
So we don't need fuel. We're good to go for sleep until we get to somewhere. Oh yeah, you know what? Do I need that to do that? What have I got here? 8 hours and something? Okay, yeah, I do need to find a place to stop. So somewhere in about 6.5 hours out. Sorry, I forgot to do this at the beginning.
Road Trip Nerd says hello, and JC Drive says he's been getting blind AI quite a bit lately.
Yeah, blind AI. That's a good word for it. Ooh, that's a little tight, so we'll see. Keep an eye on that.
Ducky says AI behaves differently in different DLCs.
Really? I wouldn't have thought so. You know, another thing, well, for those of you who are in our Discord, our community Discord, not just the VTC, if you do want to get on the server, we have set one of the settings for the server is how many AI vehicles can spawn in per player. We recently reduced that to 5. But we also changed the slot count. Welcome to Slovakia. We also changed the slot count to 128, so you do have to modify your config file to work with and be able to find 128 slot servers. I did a tutorial video on that, and it's on my channel, and we have it in the Discord. Willie! Go ahead.
This is saying Willie! Victor has driven 38,098 so far in June. Stryker says 48K. Rashid says Stobbs will like the Zeemods I have for rigid trucks. And speaking of Rashid, he's one of the lucky recipients of the
No, not Rashid.
Also, Aiden, DJ Yates, Avnish Awashti, and Eurocode Glue. Oh, I'll just do the parentheses one. Gizendi Adam.
Saw a big blurb of text on the screen and I couldn't make it out. It must be the one.
Yorukaglu Mehmet Karatik. I think I'll stick with the Gizemni Adam though.
Yeah.
Dad would have heard me trying to read that and said, "Your what hurts?"
For real.
This week would have been his 82nd birthday.
What year was he born?
1943.
Okay. And I was just trying to do the math. My mother was born in 39, later in the year.
says, why don't you haul your truck with the compactor, Boomer? It gives you better fuel economy.
What?
It says, why don't you haul your truck with the compactor?
It's not even an option. What? Besides, those compactors are super slow. I've only got, what have I got on this? Oh, we're getting diverted.
No!
I think. Oh, I can just go up the on-ramp up there.
Those are the best kind of detours. Rashid says, I think Ducky is playing too much roadcraft.
How do you like that, Ducky? I took a look at it. I looked at somebody's first impressions video. I didn't get too far into it, and I just couldn't get into it. Plus, I don't need to start another game. Oh, how'd you get through there?
And Ducky says, don't have roadcraft yet.
Oh. Same thing with that other one. The snow thingy? Can't even remember what it's called.
Adam is here. Says, now trucking in Greece.
Hey Adam, welcome to the stream. And not a 3D welcome to the stream.
Yeah, he says, yeah, don't play it. Very addicting.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, SnowRunner.
SnowRunner, that's it.
Striker says, that's a lucky detour. I got roulette for about 2 hours and was almost late to drop off.
Yeah, I was already having those visions in my head before I saw that I could just go right on through the next intersection and get on the on-ramp. You're right, that was lucky. Because I've had scenarios like what you said. I think I may have seen that in your, if it was one of your challenge runs. I don't know if it was you or not, but somebody had a big reroute. Those are always annoying.
Jepsai is here.
Welcome, Japsai, and welcome to the channel membership. I think it's your first time.
And Adam and Alexander both have the same question. Have you tried Truck World Australia?
So, is it out? Because it's been on my wish list forever. And I've seen some videos from a few people. Welcome to Hungary. I've seen videos from a few people who are posting it, but I thought they were all early release. Or early access. Because I would have thought that I'd get a notification from Steam that it was available.
Lily, celebrating 29 months, says, my, time flies.
Yes, it does. That's awesome.
Striker says it's free on Steam.
Free? You know, I did hear somebody say something about it still needs a lot of work. I think that's the one they were talking about.
Adam
maybe
says yes, it's a sneak peek, but is not out yet.
Okay. Maybe I should check it out. Because it did look interesting when I first saw it.
Yep, Matthew Roth says it's Truck World Australia first haul, free on Steam.
Yeah, they've been working on it forever. Maybe SCS should do that. I mean, not that they need too many distractions, but they've already got the engine for it.
Maybe they should combine the two games and just make it World Truck Simulator.
There you go.
One game, you could go anywhere in the world.
Yeah, but that would cut into sales. Currently, we have 2 games that they can sell. If they did an Australian version, then there'd be 3 games. They'd have to put on a whole new team for that. By the way, did y'all see that the South Dakota DLC was officially announced today? I'm excited. That'll come out after Iowa, which will be coming out in a few weeks, followed by Louisiana, probably late this year, and then Illinois, probably early next year. So I'm guessing that South Dakota will come out about this time next year. But I look to see Vigner weigh in on that.
Adam says there are some cool effects in the trucks in Australia.
Like?
Rashid says they could steal the SCS engine.
Why would they need to steal it? SCS could just do it. You know, if they have the resources.
Striker says SCS already did games in Australia with road trains.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And Ducky's got a point. With all map mods combined, ETS actually is a World Truck Simulator.
Just about, especially with ProMods. I think Africa is coming. We've already got parts of Eastern Europe, or well, into like Kazakhstan and all that. But can you imagine Euro Truck expanding into all the way to Asia and all throughout Africa? Exciting times. How much farther do we have to go here? Oh, I still got a couple hours.
Rashid is lamenting that it's South Dakota.
What? I've been wondering, I've been wanting South Dakota for months. I thought they were going to announce South Dakota before Illinois. I didn't know that they were, SCS has been working on Route 66 all that time. But yeah, I want the Dakotas. And then Minnesota. That will put us all the way, everything west of the Mississippi and Missouri rivers. Well, Mississippi, really.
Shamuka says, I would have thought they would release a DLC including both Dakotas.
I originally thought that too, until I saw somebody talking about the fact that South Dakota is bigger than Kansas, or at least as big. And so in hindsight, it does make sense from that standpoint to release it as a standalone DLC, and then North Dakota as a standalone DLC. Because there is a lot of things, it's different, but there's a lot of things to look at there. In South Dakota, you got the Black Hills, you got the Badlands. Well, we're doing an awful lot of talking about stuff in other places besides Europe while I'm driving in Europe. I mean, I guess that's okay. Most of us do both.
Ducky says buses are going to have to be a separate game module like the driving school.
Really? Why can't it be the same? I mean, why can't it be incorporated into the game as is? We have the bus terminals exist currently. Besides, if we had buses or coaches, as you guys call them, in Euro Truck, we might be able to get Rick Rashid in another convoy.
Ducky says that's what Pavel said. Separate game module.
But could you still incorporate it? Like, could it be a DLC with bus equipment? Hey. Oh, wait, what? Why do we have a red light on the left lane but green on the right? That's weird. Okay. Over here blowing my horn.
She says they should add a DLC for Indonesia. Very beautiful country.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. But first, they gotta fix the UK.
According to Stryker, it's not that weird to have different timing for traffic lights in different directions, even if it's a single lane.
Never noticed it before. In Euro Truck, that is. We do have that in the US, but usually it's because it's a left turn lane and it's a four-way intersection. Well, even sometimes, like Las Vegas, there's a three-way like that, where the left turn lane has a different light sequence. I've just never noticed it here before. All right, how much further do we have to go? Hour 54 minutes. Is we gonna be able to do that? Yep.
Adam says he's excited to see what Chicago has to offer for trucks if it's a big city and lots of low bridges.
Yeah, but will they really model that? Because most of the trucking doesn't go down to downtown, or not downtown, but into the old part of the city where those low bridges are. Because I've been down there in real life with those low bridges. But most of the logistics stuff is out in the outer metro area. But there's definitely some logistics stuff down there. I would think of it would be more like Phoenix or LA, because those are big metro areas, especially LA.
Striker says that that light configuration is rare in the game, but widely used in real life.
Okay. So this is an interchange to nowhere. Whoa, why even bother getting off? Unless you're trying to use that to turn around after a detour or something.
Willie says, but what no one is talking about is New York.
Yeah, New York's going to be interesting. Like, will we be able to drive out onto Long Island? I know that there's shippers and receivers out there because I've seen loads to go out there in real life. I never did them because I just didn't want to deal with the traffic hassle. Ooh, most of the New York related loads I did upstate. What are you doing, buddy? Ooh, I'm getting... That's my first yawn. Are you
Johnny
muted?
Hansen, a member for 27 months.
Hey, Johnny.
And Rashid says maybe they will bypass New York City.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, they gotta have the George Washington Bridge and the Cross Bronx Expressway in the game, because you need to. You kind of, sort of have to go over that in order to go up to like into southern Connecticut and Rhode Island. Oops, not here. All right, here's our stop.
Striker says hopefully they don't make the traffic realistic for New York.
Yeah, for real.
Adam thinks New York is going to be a challenge for SES to figure out. Just make sure it gets the ports, the GWB, the bridges, and the city itself.
I'm sure they'll work it out. I mean, they can change the scale of certain areas. I mean, they've done that with other places like LA and one of the California reworks. I don't think it's just LA either. All right, let me do some shout outs. Let's see, maybe Willie could be our New York City official courier. There you go. Good idea, Pugwash. Daniel Henderson, welcome to the stream. Have you ever done any Ohio? My God, I've done many Ohio loads in real life. Yeah. So many. Yeah, I can park better than this, but I just want to get on with my news in here. Hey, Ryan. Yeah, we just talked about it a little bit ago. Wasn't a teaser. It was an official announcement. They did the teaser a couple of weeks ago. So let me start off with flatbedders here. Yeah, Adam, I know that you can go down into New York City itself, but not during the day, is my understanding. Isabella Hagloff, Rob Strecker, aka Lurch, Bedrock, our top AGS driver for February 2023. Bill Welburn, Nicholas Triple XN, Susan Arthur, our top Euro truck driver for April 2025. XLT 588 Gaming, Omega Sunrise, our top ATS driver for January 2024. Trucker Kitty. Yeah, definitely at night. Norwegian trucker Nicholas, Big Al 2424, our top ATS driver for March 2025, and our top ATS driver for 2023. Tasmified, Tricker King 2010, Johnny Hansen, Lobo 1G, our top ATS driver for July 2024. Pugwash, our top Euro truck driver for April 2024. Wim 55, our top ATS driver for March 2024. Carlin, Taurus of Ice Bear, our top Euro truck driver for August 2023. FTG Mike B, David Long, aka Shorty, our top Euro truck driver for September 2024. We'll get to some more here in just a little bit. I want to stop that yawning. Yeah. Let's see here. Oops. All right, I'll do just a look at the map quick to see where we are. We are getting close to Croatia, right? Just a little bit further, 119 kilometers, 2 hours. Yeah, I did a lot of pickups and deliveries, mostly pickups in the Jersey area. Addison. Well, I went to the port a few times. Bergen, North Bergen. Because I don't remember all the places. JJ Man, 1982. Thor Rasmussen, our top Euro truck driver for January 2025. And our top Euro truck driver for all of 2023. Nicholas Triple XN, a flatbedder for 32 months. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to another announcement for Euro Truck. There's a Verrazano Bridge, CWB, and the Tappan Z north of the city. So I gotta believe the George Washington Bridge will be included because it's a major with the Cross Bronx Expressway, and of course the Tappan Z. That's a fair bit north. That's a major thoroughfare, so that's got to be there. Plus, it's a really cool looking bridge. Nick, David H74, RD04 Dave, our top ATS driver for March 2023, and Troken, Douglas Williams. Let's see. Let's see. What am I looking at? Okay, so yeah, let's get going. Yeah, the Tappan Z, when I stopped driving over the road, they had just opened one side of the new Tappan Z bridge. So I drove through there a lot on the old one while the new one was under construction. And I got to drive in one direction on the new one before I stopped driving. So it's a cool bridge. Long, as I recall. have videos in my library, in my real life trucking video library, of a few times that I drove over it. The old one, maybe the new one too. I think so. We'll see.
Talk about the demise of the penny.
Yeah. I mean, who uses it anymore? And I've heard that it costs more
More
than
to
it's
make it
worth.
than it's worth.
I think if you do have some, I would hang on to a few of the newer and shinier ones. I mean, you might get a whole nickel for them at one point.
Adam asks if you've ever drove over the Verrazano Bridge.
No, I have not. I don't even know where that is. I'm familiar with the name of it, but I don't know where it is. And so far as I know, I've never driven across it.
Chimuko says they're still legal tender, and I think they'll stop minting them early next year.
Right, and they'll still be legal tender for years, but you'll see fewer and fewer of them in circulation or even in use. A lot of retail places will stop using them, and they'll just fade away.
Apparently, Rashid's got one that's worth $12.
Really? What would make a penny worth $12? Is it a couple hundred years old?
Willie says that bridge links Staten Island with Brooklyn.
Definitely haven't been there. Never been to Brooklyn. I don't believe I've been to Staten Island.
Strucker's got a good point. What dollars? US, Canadian, Australian? Adam says, have you heard of I-278 that connects Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island to I-95?
$278, but I'm thinking of the one in New Jersey. So I'm not familiar with that in New York. Now I'm wondering. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the map to see where Staten Island is. see, have I actually been on Staten Island while trucking? I think not, but now I want to confirm that.
The 1902 King George penny, according to Rashid.
Wow. Is it shiny? In mint condition? Ooh, road to the Adriatics. I just picked up another city on that Steam achievement. It was already slowing down.
Adam says the only one is New Jersey. In New Jersey is I-287. The one in New York is 278.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, but now I got to look at a map and refresh my memory. It's been a long time.
And she says, nope, it's dirty, but it was circulated. Susan wonders, do you know, do you use those gloves you used in real life with the wheel you have now?
No. I don't even know if I still have those.
Nick is here.
Hey, Nick. Another stop sign? What's that about?
Nick says, are you doing the challenge on ProMods?
I am. There's not going to be a train going through here probably because there's one stopped on the tracks. Alright, where are we going with this? This is going to be one of those ones where I have to back up the ramp.
Rashid says, Boomer using driving gloves? Say what?
Yeah, when I drove in real life, I wore gloves all the time. They were usually the fingerless ones. Because they had a good grip. You know, the leather material in the palm made for good grip. Alright, gotta get out and look for a moment. Am I getting too close to that truck? Oh, I am. I am very close. I stopped just in the nick of time. Did not cut it sharp enough. It looks better. The heck? Really? Am I gonna get stuck in the gravel here? Seems like a strange place to drop this trailer.
It says it. I would like to use ProMods again one day, but it's not going to work.
Why not? You have all the map DLCs? Oh, good. I was gonna let y'all know that I wasn't sure if this was gonna work, since it was a World of Trucks load, but it worked. Yay! 794 kilometers. Let me pull away from here. You can absolutely do the challenge with ProMods. Several of us are.
And it's a good thing you have the steering axle for this load.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. All right, let's see. What is the next city on or country on the list? Bulgaria. So Croatia to Bulgaria. Let's see if where's Bulgaria? I want to see if there's anything relatively short. Going to Bulgaria. Do I have time to do it today? Nothing on there. I'll take a chance and look at World of Trucks. BG. Wait, what is that? Croatia still. Croatia to Croatia. Here's one. Sofia. 511 kilometers. Can we do it? Wait. It's not even in Croatia. That isn't either. Got some more shout outs I got to do yet. Here is one from here going to that place. 800 kilometers. JC Drives, our top Euro truck driver for March 2025. Thomas Berger, Matthew Roth, Doom 3, Lee Jenkins, Lee01 Mister, Phantom 6767, our top Euro truck driver for October 2024. Jennifer Roth, Colin Percival, Pancake Man, Ken Beard, Road Trip Nerd, Grumpy Gruntpaw Gaming, Stiggy Stiggs 122, Ken Maselman, Ravendron Supermaniam, Mr. Whiskey TV, Whitby Gaming, All Stoned, Spawning Salmon, Mr. Mister, Keith W. Collins 06, Shredder 89, Josh, MWCW 709, Metro Master, Pupils, Truck Dog Gaming, Japsai 0585, and Bradley Ritter, which I'm going to have to change to Boo Dad, or Father, or something. Sorry. What was that?
Wagner was saying the next 2 loads are short for you.
Hopefully, well, 807 kilometers is the shortest one I found so far. And Nick says it's too detailed for his PC and lags. Really? Okay. Well, you can dial down the graphics, I would think. 808, sodium hydrochloride. This one's heavier. Not a shuttle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sleep trigger. I guess one of these right down here, left or right, and sleep. So I've got a full clock, and I'll check freight market again. It is Striker. It is short, but I'm short on time for the stream. I try to keep it under 2 hours. I should be able to do it if I get it right away. 800 kilometers. And don't dilly-dally. I've already done all the shout-outs now.
Wagner says the South Dakota DLC page on Steam has Mount Rushmore on it, if somebody hasn't said that earlier.
No, no one did. And I didn't even think about it. I believe you're correct. Wanted to look at the map real quick. See, I got 42.21% of the map explored, which is pretty good. That place shuttle is right over here. If I do end up getting a load out of there, that's where it's coming from. So back to the truck. And we will sleep to the next day. It doesn't affect World of Trucks loads, but it does affect loads on the freight market. Ooh, I just realized I still have my beacons on. There we go. Don't need those going. So let's look at freight market. Here. Yeah, these are all too long. Just this first page even. But what about other cities like Zagreb? Anything going to Bulgaria? No. I've only got one other city, I think, discovered in here. Nope. So I can take a chance and see if I could find something on World of Trucks, and hopefully it won't crash the load. Well, that's that same one. Be fine with that. Okay. As long as I can get it done in under 45 minutes. I gotta go get it. It's got plenty of time. This one's, we'll just go get that. Let's talk more action.
There's a song about that.
Uh-huh. All right, where is this? Yeah, right over there, as I said. Oh, I keep running out of air. When I sleep. I don't really have any damage per se. It says 3% up top, but I don't. That's probably all tire wear.
Striker says I've got same air issues since one of the mini updates.
Yeah, I mean, in real life, it's an issue as your truck ages and as the seals start to dry out on your airlines. But normally that's really only an issue on the seals for the airlines that go between the truck and the trailer. And as you can see, I don't currently have... Are you really? Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Sometimes they will stop when you don't expect them to, and other times they act as if you aren't even there. Ooh. Anyway, the glad hand seals on the airlines between the truck and the trailer, those do wear out. I always kept a handful of those in my truck so that I could replace them when I was hooking up a trailer. That if I was doing a drop and hook. That was a real problem when I was doing drop and hooks in Laredo, Texas, even at our company yard. The glad hand seals would be missing because drivers would steal them, even though we can get them for free at the yard. Well, company drivers could, and actually I could too. But if they had any, like, why would you steal them off of a trailer? It was so annoying.
Or she says, just push them out of the way.
What? Oh, the
Or she
AI?
said, yeah.
Jeez. Almost choked on my coffee and that guy cut in front of me. What the heck?
Almost
Get hit by the train? That looks like a hidden road.
No signals, says Nicholas.
What?
Nicholas said, what, no signals?
Well, there hasn't been any as I've driven through town. Shuttle Cola.
At the train crossing.
No, there wasn't. Just a stop sign. See, that's not unusual in the U.S., but I don't know if that may have been one of the few times I've ever seen it in Euro Truck. And even in the U.S., it's only an issue in built-up areas. Shuttle Cola. Let's look at the map real quick. The route. We're gonna go past that. No, that had to be a hidden road, but I don't have time to go back. If we were going back that way, I'd turn in, but. So there was a warning sign there about a train crossing up ahead. There's a train. I can hear bells. Oh, it's a truck. Oh, there's a train crossing. Yeah, a lot of times in industrial cities like this or industrial areas. Why is that on the ground? I didn't hit that. I'll just have a stop sign or a warning, cross guard warning. But more and more they've got the crossing guards, even in places like this. As you may have seen the need for it in Bonehead Truckers videos. People still stop on the tracks or get hung up with a flatbed. Maybe that wasn't a train warning. Maybe that was a bus stop sign.
She's just so funny. Wondering how much space is there between the ground and the trailer legs up?
Say that again?
How much space is there between the trailer ground, or the ground and the trailer legs up?
Trailer legs. What?
You know, like when you do the crank shame. You're raising and lowering like a set of landing legs.
About that much. Even in real life, that's about it. Over
Half
a
a
foot.
foot, maybe it looks like.
No, no, it's over a foot. 99. Oops. 99% of the time, that's all you need. But every once in a while, you could run into an issue, like with speed bump or hump or a railroad crossing. So that is known as the landing gear. And on the bottom of the landing gear is a foot pad. And that spreads out the weight onto the ground. When you hook up a trailer, depending on how low the landing gear is set, low or high. Ooh, what do you call it? Toll booth. Guess I could have gone to that other one, maybe. Oh, we're fine. when you hook the trailer, it'll lift it up off the ground a bit. So the landing gear is up off the ground usually a little bit. Unless they really crank that landing gear when they're dropping the trailer. And then it may not come off the ground at all.
Trucker says when they scrape on the ground, you usually have more serious issues.
One day after hooking a trailer, I'm driving down the road. I didn't got too terribly far, but had some people pull up next to me on the highway and waving at me, pointing back at my trailer. Oh, and I think I rolled down the window and they told me, it was hard to hear them, but something about my was dragging something back there. So I pulled over and I looked, I'm like, yep, I forgot to put the landing gear up. So the landing gear was actually dragging on the ground, and unfortunately somewhere along the way, the front lip of the landing pad had got caught on something and it curled it on the leading edge. Yep, that was a bonehead trucker's move. I'd like to think I was still fairly new at the time.
JC Drives asks, how do you deal with dropping the trailer when that happens?
Just drop it. I mean, when you're ready to drop, you lower the landing gear down to the ground. That little lip did stick down and cause the landing gear to not be flat. There wasn't anything I could do about it. But over time, the weight from the trailer sitting on it will probably bend it back most of the way back.
Bigner says you didn't break the landing gear?
No. Could have. If I had hit a speed bump at any kind of speed, and of course you don't, because you slow down for speed bumps, which is the whole purpose of a speed bump, is to get you to slow down. But if I had hit something like that at speed, yeah, it could have broken the landing gear.
Howdy, Boomer and Chat.
Ooh, that must be Lobo. What? I blame Lobo for that. I was distracted. I was not watching my speed. I was actually looking for the right lane at the toll booth. So, that's my fault.
Sure.
Lobo's just a handy scapegoat. Ooh, I gotta go this way. Border crossing.
Elliot's saying, where's the siren coming from?
There must have been a police car behind me. Honestly, I didn't look. Well, he wouldn't be here, he'd be over there. Probably already gone by at this point. Could have been going the other way for all I know. watch it this time. And he could have just been sitting on the side of the road. I was distracted and I didn't notice.
Striker says it's just an effect sound that you got caught.
Yep.
Everything is in order. Have a nice journey.
See, there's one sitting right there. That's how they can get you if you're speeding.
Checking your documents. Please wait. Striker says usually it's just a camera in Europe, not a cop. And Ryan says, I'm glad SCS is doing drivable bus and ETS and cars and trucks and ATS.
Should be able to go this way, I think. Yeah. Yeah, this load's gonna cause me to run long. Still have 630 kilometers to go.
Striker thinks they should have used the manpower for something else, not buses and cars. Both will be interesting for about a week or two.
I tend to agree. I don't see myself driving the cars in ATS. You know, I might want to try buses in Euro Truck just to be different, and I should have moved over there.
If you wanted to drive a car in ATS, just go out to your driveway.
Exactly. Yeah, I really just don't even see the point. But, you know, maybe there'll be something about it that'll be interesting.
Soundfish's back is here and says howdy.
Howdy, Sound Fixes.
driving school stuff already was wasted time, in his humble opinion.
Now that, I do find value in that for a lot of people. Although I suppose a lot of the people that I think could use it probably don't. They just want to get in and drive. But I liked it. It was a good challenge for me. But I think the real question is, was it the best use of their available resources to create? I think there's value in it. Because it can help people learn to maneuver the trucks. And parking, you know, how to do the parking, how to maneuver in tight spaces. Why are we slowing down? Merging lane, the end of the motorway.
JC Drive says, I've tried a few car mods and ATS, didn't really get much from it.
Yeah, in my mind, it's a truck driving simulator. Yes, you can do different kinds of vehicles. I've seen the mods where you can simulate being a hotshot driver with a big hefty pickup truck and a flatbed, you know, smaller trailer. And I've seen like a tow truck mod that's out, and then the buses. I was never drawn to any of that. I've had some. I considered doing the buses because you are doing. I mean, people is a type of cargo. I don't know. I mean, why not do trains? Put trains in the game. I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying. All right, what was that?
Chimuko says, I think the driving academy is there to attract people and not be as intimidated as if they had jumped straight into the game.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that, but I also think that the people that need it the most probably are not utilizing it. And, you know, I could be wrong about that. Could be some that do. I'd like to see more people doing it because it will improve the experience for them. If they want to understand what it's like to be a truck driver, go through that truck driving school. Get the whole experience. Wow. I just got bracketed.
The machine says I only do buses if they are better modded, and it's from 8th SCS.
You know, I guess when the buses comes out, I'm gonna have to check it out. Both as a content creator and as a someone who enjoys this sim. And that guy. Now, on the other side of things, a little bit crazy, you could drive a car and you could be like one of them annoying AI drivers and slam into trucks. I'm not advocating that, but it'd be kind of interesting.
Lowrider is here, and he says, I would love to see some rigid or box trucks in both games.
There are mods for that, and I think Rick Rashid was talking about doing that. He's talked about doing the challenge with the box truck.
Postek says, I would have liked to see single and tandem axle box trucks. Be a good starter truck.
But I'm gonna need fuel before we get there. Speaking of, I need to find a place to stop for the night. Let's see, what have I got left on the clock? 4 hours, so I need to find some place in the 2-hour range. Yeah, that'll work. Any place else farther down that makes more sense? No, that'll work.
Wondering, in ATS I do trucks, but I would like to drive buses, vans, or cars. In ETS I drive trucks and buses and cars, no vans yet. That was a statement, not a question, my bad.
Well, the good news is, you know, that through SCS's efforts and mod makers, you have options. So you can vary up your playstyle. If you want to be able to drive a car in Euro truck or even American truck, then you have the ability to do that. But for me, this is a truck driving simulator, and I like to drive trucks. It's not just about the scenery, which I love. I love the scenery. I love driving around. But this is about being a truck driver or simulating truck driving experience. But if doing the cars or vans or buses is your thing, you can. And Euro Truck and to some extent ATS provides that ability either directly through SCS's efforts or through mod makers. So just because it's not my thing doesn't mean it can't be your thing.
Stryker says rigids will finally be something useful again in terms of driving.
The thing about rigids, at least in the US, they're not intended for long haul. I think it's a little different in Europe, but in the US, rigids, well, there are exceptions to that. Like FedEx Express, they've got some like 26-foot box truck with sleepers on them. Those are rigid, and those are for high priority expedited or something. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so it exists in the U.S.
Stubbs is here.
Hey, Stubbs. Haven't seen you in a bit.
Rashid did a little chocolate in Switzerland.
Chocolate? I could go for some chocolate. here comes our stop.
Nicholas says in Norway there's a lot of rigid trucks with trailers used for over-the-road driving.
Yeah, and that is different than in the U.S. And I've seen that in Europe, you know, videos and photos and things. Sometimes just a long, rigid truck, but a lot of times same thing, but with a trailer. In the U.S., I think of rigid trucks as like a 26-foot box truck, like a Penske or a U-Haul kind of a scenario. We use those for moving across either locally or across country.
Stubb says in the Nordic regions, in general, the rigids are most common.
All right, this is a World of Trucks, so I can go ahead and advance the time to 9 p.m. and then sleep. And we have 458 kilometers remaining. Let me look at a map real quick, see where we're at. 7 hours of driving. Boy, we gotta go down here. Then that away. Man, I haven't been in this area in quite a while. Get down here more. I guess I will with the challenge, but not necessarily here.
Step away a bit.
Okay, still got about 22. Still got about 22 minutes of real world time of driving. If we don't have any delays or detours. Yeah, Striker, that configuration makes a lot of sense in my mind. You can have a full-size rigid truck pulling a trailer, a full-size trailer. That seems like an efficient method. Is a 30-foot trailer the smallest you can get for local deliveries? 28, I think. Typically, 28-foot pup trailer. They have their regional differences. Finland getting 31-meter ones. Oh, Sweden uses 24. Norway, I think, too. Okay. That makes sense. And we have things like that in this country too, like in the Pacific Northwest. You can have trailers, heavier trailers with multiple axles in the back. So standard in the US is 2 axles for the trailer, truck and trailer. But there are exceptions. and that allow you to carry more weight. And so there's a lot of trailers that have 4 and 5 axles for the trailer. And I think there's even longer trailers, but only in certain states. Just like there's only certain states in the U.S. where you can have what's known as a turnpike doubles, which is basically 2 more or less full-size trailers. They might be 48 foot. And then you've got Rocky Mountain doubles, which is a full-size trailer and then a pup trailer in the back. So, and I don't know the logic behind that in both instances. Probably just, you know, capacity of the highways as far as turning radius and things like that. And then in Michigan, they've got a completely different kind of trailer for hauling bulk material. I think dirt and gravel and stuff. And I don't know how many axles it is under those things, like 10 or 12. But at the whole length of the trailer, there's axles. And that's just unique to Michigan. But there's also specialty trailers like side dumpers and things like that. Like I see them here in Las Vegas all the time. They go by on the highway right outside my kitchen window. And they've got 4 or 5 axles on each trailer. And they're usually double trailers. And but they do that to distribute the weight. Interesting. I had thought about the effect of hazardous materials in that configuration. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, Adam, usually the locals that are the local deliveries for like supermarkets and things, those are generally, not always, but generally using a day cab, and they're coming from local distribution centers. I mean, I've done local supermarket deliveries in different parts of the country. Even though I've come, usually it's a regional thing, but I've got a full-size trailer and a full-size truck with a sleeper. Not just groceries, but also like dollar stores. And I would literally, you know, I'd pick up the trailer set up, or the trailer at the distribution center. It was already preloaded. And then I would take it to one or more dollar store locations in that region. And those can be a little tight, those parking spots. Which is one reason why the driving academy can be pretty useful. Learn how to do that. take it we're in Bulgaria. I don't know why I turned that on.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Let's see. Last thing I read was Rick Rashid's "Hello, Mr. B Doubles."
Okay. Stop says I don't know anything articulation points. I just know that the truck needs to be hazmat equipped. Basically, battery shut-off switch and extra extinguisher. Fuel trucks have a max weight of 60 tons out of a legal max weight of 76. Bigner says the trucks and trailers with extra axles in Michigan can weigh more than 80,000 pounds, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised. I mean, you get a lot of axles, you spread a lot of weight around on those axles. Every time I ever saw those, I was just blown away. I'd never seen it before anywhere else in the country.
Adam says the only semis I see on my street are local appliance delivery trucks, moving trucks, and big box trucks from a semi-trailer.
Well, if you live in if you're in a residential area, that's usually what you'll see. But I live right outside my window, about 100 yards or less, is a major artery. U.S. Highway 93, 95. And you get a lot of trucks driving both directions. Mostly local trucks doing, like, hauling dirt and stuff to and from construction areas. We've got a big construction project going on next door, so some of them have been there. Sure, there's a lot of speed limit changes.
Vigner says it's called a Michigan train.
Okay. I didn't even know that. But that's fitting.
Celsius where Rick is, which translates to 86 Fahrenheit.
Oh. You better make room for me, car. Move, 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 you jerk.
By me, it's only 19C. Right now. Vigner says, was that a Swiftie?
He hit me.
Adam says, I do see a lot of cement trucks in my town, and local semi-truck deliveries live a few miles from a cement plant.
Yep, if you got any kind of developments or construction going on in the area, you'll see a lot of cement trucks and things. So what is... It's 38 here. it's going to go up a little bit. 30. It's going to get 39 today.
Victor says, but the Swifty counter still says 0.
It does. I just threw the wah 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 out because I had an accident. It wasn't my fault. I didn't cause it. I mean, you could argue that I should have yielded. There. Happy? Still gonna pout about it. It wasn't my fault, man. Seems a little hazy here for being in the middle of the afternoon. So for those of you who are not in the VTC, but do run Euro Truck, do you have any interest in doing the challenge on your own, or have you been doing the challenge on your own? Because I did provide a link to a page on our website with the information.
Says it's 102 there.
Yeah, I think it's actually 101 at the moment, but it's gonna get a little bit warmer before the day is over. It's just that time of year.
Lowrider says the AI has more than enough room to change lanes. Not your fault.
Yeah, see? That's what I was thinking. He should have moved over. Big old truck coming. Get out of the way. I guess that defense probably wouldn't hold up in traffic court. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Sing that chorus.
Well, this is another pretty area, and I don't know if this is ProMods scenery or SCS scenery. This is an SCS area, but sometimes ProMods add scenery. It sure is nice.
She is arguing, no, you're merging. You need to make sure the way is clear.
And that's a valid argument. That's why I don't think it would hold up in traffic court. What's going on here? Lane ends. Well, it'll be nice when they finish this. I've said that a lot of times when I was driving over the road. Get to a construction zone, either it's new highway construction or, you know, they're fixing issues, and it was always annoying. So, but you know, my standard refrain was, well, this sucks, but it'll be nice when it's done. Problem is, a lot of these projects take years. Coming up. Better slow down. There's a speed camera. You know, I remember when we were waiting for the West Balkans DLC to come out, and in one of the many blog posts that they did, they talked about new companies. And this Shuttle Cola was one of the new companies. Ooh. Plebin. We're not going to Plebin, are we? That's what this is, right? Yep. I have been here before. Oop, gotta stop. Some of those overhead electric rails we talked about last weekend. This is in town and not on the Autobahn.
Wiz Nation says 1,202 miles for the VTC.
Nice. You gonna go back and work on the Euro Truck Challenge, Wiz? I had to ask you that the other day, but I was distracted. Okay, speed limit cannot be 90 through here. Okay, there, 50. That's more like it.
Wiz Nations, as I still not understanding it, and I'm not sure why.
Okay, I'm not either then. Because I was going to ask you, what don't you understand? I mean, it is a long, convoluted instructions, but it's pretty straightforward. You start in Frankfurt, you take a load to France. You take a load from France to Finland. and so on through the list. That's the basic gist of it. And you keep doing that from country to country in the list. What is it, 35 countries? This is a bit of a convoluted route.
Alex Roska says, hi, I'm from Romania and Bulgaria is a neighbor country.
Well, hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream.
And they also have Ukraine and West Balkans as neighbors. Adam says, I'm making my way back to Italy. Bigner says, with Nation, just read the rules and you're golden.
Yep. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Again, I know the rules are lengthy, but we're trying to, cover all the bases. But the basic gist of it is take a load from one country, the first country in the list, which I know you've already done, to the next country in the list. I mean, that's the one you've done. You've done the load to France. So now you do a load from France to Finland. This is about as complicated as it gets. Hardest part about it is finding loads. France to Finland's not too hard. There are some places that are difficult. But that's part of the challenge. Actually, Adam, it does not go alphabetical. It goes reverse alphabetical. This is the first year that we've gone in this sequence. Usually, it used to always be alphabetical.
Striker says he's got 9 countries bordering. Despina Gruel says hi.
Hello, Despina. Welcome to the stream. That's the first time I think I've heard that name on one of my streams. Which reminds me, if y'all haven't, for those of you who are fairly new, if you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscription, or subscribe to the channel. And then ring the notification bells to get all notifications so you don't miss out on any streams. And hit that like button. I keep forgetting to say those things during live streams.
Yeah, I only see 29 likes here for 36 people watching. Alex says you can create loads via Trucky if there are no loads. I use it if I want to discover new cities and cargoes.
That is correct, but not for the challenge.
Which is what
At least-
Striker just pointed out.
Oh. But you absolutely can do that on your own. Weird tunnel. Ooh, I see our delivery.
Vigner said nice horns, and Adam says some horns do not echo.
Right. Now I sound like a train. I should map that to a button. Isn't that right, kitty?
Striker says I still have 800 kilometers to go. Writing too much today.
I didn't mean to roll my window down.
Lily
I know
says,
why I did
are we
that.
there yet, Boomer?
Yes, we're there yet. Just right up the road. We can almost see it. Maybe when we go over this overpass. We can look ahead. Way down yonder, that's where we're going. What is this, Balkan Loco? So Alex, weren't you there during the streams early on? I guess it's been maybe a couple of years ago now, when I was kind of exploring different parts of Eastern Europe, including Romania. If I'm not mistaken, you were sharing insight for the areas that we were traveling to. Always nice to have someone who's a native of the area you're traveling and point things out. Here is our destination.
As Lowrider said, who watches a stream for 2 hours and not liking it?
Yeah.
Adam's got 400 kilometers to roam plus a ferry ride from the port. Striker says, yeah, about 40 minutes left, but that's it for today. To which Vigner says, you'll probably finish the challenge tomorrow.
Well, at the rate he's going, you'll be right behind him, Vigner. Followed quickly by Arnar, I suppose. $929 kilometers. Well, that wound up being a little bit longer than expected.
Oh, Nightbot got you, Susan.
What'd you do, Susan?
Caps.
Ah, turn off that caps lock key.
The offending message said, I done my like. Striker says, that's the goal, son of Hawk. Starting Monday, I'm on emergency call again.
Well, got to do that work thing. Let me see here. Yes, we've got 32 people currently watching. We got 30 likes, so that's not too bad. So, is somebody still hanging out going, I don't know if I like it yet? Oh, you know what? I didn't get a desync on the delivery, so that's positive. I always worried about that with the World of Trucks load. But I guess it worked out okay. Susan's back from detention. Oh my. So what's next after this? So I've delivered to Croatia and Bulgaria. Next up is Bosnia Herzegovina. And I just don't know, because I'm not that familiar with this area, but Bosnia Herzegovina is well, let me just look on the load board. So is it BIH, I think? By the way, Stryker, thank you for posting that list of all the cities with the abbreviations that are in the parentheses here. The only thing that I would say to do different is to post it in the same sequence as is in the challenge, because I had a tough time finding one of the cities or countries. EIH, yeah, Sarajevo. So that's what's up to do next. 600. This one is, I'm not doing it now, but that's where we're going, or that's where I'm going next. That's in Pleven. I'm actually in this other town here. So BIH. Is there any other? Oh, there's another one. Coming from the town I'm in. 668 kilometers. I would do that. Oh, it's even picking up here. It's got 16 hours on it. I should probably snag that. Here's one going to Zenica, but coming from Rus. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this load because it's coming out of here. It's got 16 hours on it. I can work on it later tonight. My time. Let me grab that. That's my next load. I'm gonna go ahead and hook it too, just because I'm here. Yes, Susan, you do. And I've been worried about that for myself. Because if it had not worked, you can't actually make the delivery. The load gets canceled because it'll desynchronize. It's worse with ferries, or it's more likely to happen with a ferry. But because ProMods changes some places where they physically are located, World of Trucks will desynchronize. You can't make the delivery. And that means that load won't count. Yes, not a long trip. What is this? 669 kilometers. And what's basically backtracking some of what we just did? Where did I come from? I just did all this, I think. I think I did. So hopefully it'll work out. Yeah, it is a big risk, Susan. And I didn't want to do it. I've been taking nothing but freight market loads because of the risk. If if there's a ferry involved, I'm not doing a World of Trucks load. And even this load, I don't know what's going to happen when I make delivery. So it's a crapshoot. But if you just do freight market loads, they work fine. Problem is sometimes it can be very difficult to find a load if you're limiting yourself to freight market or cargo market. So you get more options of cities to deliver from and to with ProMods. But then there's the downside of you should avoid World of Trucks loads. Right, and that's a choice too, Shamuko. There's no risk if you don't use ProMods, use whatever load board you want, and there's not gonna be an issue. Yeah, Striker, this is this I've done 2 World of Trucks loads and I got lucky, I feel, at both times. I don't know if I'm going to get lucky with this one, but I'll take my chances. So, yeah, speaking of bye, I'm going to wrap this up and call it a stream because we're already over a half hour over, but it's been fun. So, with that said, thank you all for being here. I didn't see there was no coffees, but there was gifted memberships. Thank you for that. And we will see you all back next weekend. Thank you, Thomas. See you later.